Physical media man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another Physical Media Man Monday video. I have the rest of my October Halloween / scary movies reviews for you guys, but before I do those, I also have a donation unboxing as well as a couple scary movie related pickups that I just did the last week or so. So before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do a lot of good stuff down below. I'll leave the links to my Instagram page, my Physical Media Man Store Instagram page, my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man Store, my Facebook page for non-media related items, the Hodgepodge Garage, my email, my eBay, my Twitter, my Letterboxd account, and that's it. Okay, so first up, I'm going to show you the movies that I've purchased recently. These were basically all upgrades. First up, on Amazon, it was $13.24. We got The Fog, the Scream Factory edition on Blu-ray. I actually had this on DVD, watched it for the very first time this month and really enjoyed it. Happy to add to the John Carpenter collection. The remake was awful, but this one was definitely worth upgrading. So that DVD will be for sale. If you're interested, let me know. But I thought that was a good deal and happy to upgrade it. And then yesterday, I went to my local Walmart and they actually had a couple things I wanted to pick up. So first up, for $14.95, we got Saw. This is the 8-film collection, which includes 7 unrated films plus Jigsaw. And I haven't seen Jigsaw yet. I like these movies quite a bit, especially the first few. So this is kind of one of my favorite franchises, I guess I would say. I don't know. But I've seen this drop to $12.96 on Amazon, but I never saw it with the slipcover. So I thought that was definitely worth picking up. And I had these on DVD, so those will be for sale as well if you're interested. They don't have the plastic over top, but the factory seal is still sealed, so they've never been washed. So yeah. And then this, I was shocked because my Walmart is terrible. When I was in there, they were getting rid of a whole row of movies. I always see people in that row. I mean, there's movies on this side and there's movies on this side, and you walk down the aisle and then once you got to a certain point on one side, it started to get to records, and that was it, and it finished that row. But there's always people looking at movies, and I just don't get it. But they took away this whole right side row. They moved the records up to the front, which I don't understand. I collect records. I buy records. I don't understand. I never see anybody looking through those. I guess people could be buying them when I'm not there, but I've never seen one person look through the records there. I've seen them on clearance. I've never seen anyone look through them. I've looked through them personally. I would never buy a vintage, an old record that got re-released. I wouldn't purchase it. That's just me. That's the way I collect records, but I just don't understand why they would get rid of that much movie space when they still have the records there, and then the rest of the space they put really small TVs, which they have a whole bunch of TVs. Whatever. That's my rant. Anyways, my Walmart's terrible though, regardless. And I've seen a lot of people find this at theirs, and people pick it up, and I've never seen it. So for $39.96, I got the Fly collection, and this is the Scream Factory box set, which includes 5 films. I already had the original, as well as the Jeff Goldblum, is it Cronenberg? Yeah, David Cronenberg's 1986 remake. I had those 2 versions, so those will be for sale. If you're interested, let me know. I've never seen Return of the Fly or The Curse of the Fly or The Fly 2, so thought that was pretty neat, especially for the price. I haven't opened it up yet, but so now, yeah, very cool. So yeah, that's what I've gotten recently in the last week or two. I wanted to include this with my movie reviews since they were all scary movie related. So next up, I got a special unboxing. I paid for the shipping, but my college professor Neil, who's also a follower and subscriber, was nice enough to send me this. He asked if I was interested. He'd watched my unboxing of something that has to do with this. So real cool guy. He always comments on my stuff, especially on Facebook. He's a big movie fan, so really cool to still be in contact with him. So it was really super nice of him to send these my way. All right, so we got a couple movie posters. Let's see if I can. Oh, come on. It's got tape around them. The struggle is real. Should I break? Should I break? Oh, I might be getting somewhere. Dad. All right, there we go. Got it. We're good. All right. First up, they're the same type of thing, so here I don't want to mess them up. We got Friday the 13th, the 40th anniversary poster. This is done by Scream Factory. Oh, it's the final scene from the first one. I got a super glare. Very cool. I think the other one. That one's more like a, I don't know how to explain it. More like a movie poster feel. And then we got this one, which is awesome. I'm doing a terrible job of showing these off. It's got all the all the different Jasons. And this one, I don't know if it says Devin. I assume that's who did the artwork. You could only get these if you pre-ordered or if you ordered through Scream Factory, which I didn't. And he saw my unboxing video and offered to send those my way, which was awesome. And I thought they were really cool, especially the one with the different Jasons. I'm going to definitely hang those up in the movie room, especially during October every year. I'm actually going to try to go get some movie poster frames for them today. I think they're 24 by 36. I'll have to check that out. So next up, you should see the movie reviews. So thanks again, Neil. Really appreciate it. Okay, I'm back. It's been a few hours later, and I got some movie poster frames for the movie posters. So I wanted to show those off here so you guys can see them better now that they're in their frames. So here's the one. Oh, I got a terrible glare from my light. So very neat there. And we got this one. I think this one's cooler in my opinion. It's pretty awesome. So very cool to have these framed up now. And again, thanks Neil. Really appreciate it. They turned out awesome. Okay, now I'm going to break again for the movie reviews. Okay, so it's a couple weeks later and I'm finally back for the reviews. First up on October 18th. So from October 18th through October 30th, weirdly we didn't watch any scary movies on October 31st. But from October 18th through the 30th, we watched at least 19 films. So first up, we watched Little Shop of Horrors. Didn't know going into this. Well, I thought it was supposed to be funny, but I didn't realize it was a musical for one. Didn't realize it was like a remake of the Roger Corman, I believe, Jack Nicholson movie, like a B-grade horror movie, like a kind of a funny version of it, paying homage to it. So I didn't know that going in, so our experience wasn't as good. Wouldn't mind rewatching this again at some point with a new set of eyes. Because of that, I'm just going to give it a C+. I know a lot of people like it, so take that with a grain of salt. Next up, I watched Species, the first one. I'm just going to go ahead and go through all of them because I watched, I think there's only 3. I watched all 3 of them on these DVD versions. I have this Blu-ray I'm going to either hold on to, or I actually might try to get the Scream Factory version. So the first one, it says, when a beautiful human-alien hybrid escapes from observation, scientist Xavier Fitch dispatches a crew of experts to find her before she is able to fulfill her horrific purpose, to mate with the unsuspecting men and produce offspring that could destroy mankind. As their deadly biological clock ticks rapidly, Fitch and his team. So this is the reason I really like this. It's got a great cast. Michael Madsen, Forrest Whitaker. They're the 2 main people, as well as Ben Kingsley, Natasha Henstridge. So they're hurled into a desperate battle in which the fate of humanity itself hangs in the balance. Really enjoyed this one. I'm going to give it an A-. The second one, so it's having just returned from a mission to Mars, Commander Ross isn't exactly himself. He's slowly transforming into a terrifying alien entity. With time running out, the ultimate battle of human brain over alien brawn takes place in a chilling climax that puts Darwin's theory to the ultimate test. Not bad, not as good as the first one. Gonna give it a C+. It hurt not being able to bring all the actors back from the first one. So that's the main reason it's not as good. And then the third one's not very good at all. So it's Mankind's numbers is up in this thrilling third installment of the Species franchise. Featuring eye-popping special effects and knuckle-whitening suspense, Species 3 is the most jarring, action-packed chapter yet in the war between 2 species. So that one doesn't even really tell you the plot. So yeah, I'm going to give it a D. Definitely not worth rewatching, but the first one I really enjoyed. Good movie. Next up was one I was worried about, or I've watched by myself a few years ago, and I didn't really enjoy it, or didn't remember enjoying it, but my wife enjoyed it. So this just came out. We got Little Monsters, the Vestron series, video series version on Blu-ray. So rewatched it. It follows a monster under the bed, and Fred Savage, the child, captures him or sees him. So then he gets kind of to go see what it's like to be a monster type of thing. And it was a lot better upon the second viewing. I'm going to give it a B+. Oh, before I go any further, these ratings aren't as similar to my, well, they're similar, but my ratings for these movies are one in their own. I'm viewing the scary Halloween type movies a little differently, so it's on a rating scale within themselves, if that makes sense. So yeah, giving it a B+. Really enjoyed it on the rewatch. Yeah, definitely enjoy that one. Next up, the worst movie I've watched in a while. We got the remake retelling of The Fog. And this movie was not good. And John Carpenter's a producer on it, and he made the original one, which is really good, and I actually upgraded to the Scream Factory version of it. So this says, from producer John Carpenter comes the all-new retelling of his terror classic, The Fog. Tom Welling, Maggie Grace, and Selma Blair star in this senses-shattering tale of demonic retribution directed by Rupert Wainwright, with screenplay by Cooper Lane. Trapped within eerie mist, the residents of Antonio Bay had become the unwitting victims of a horrifying vengeance. 100 years ago, a ship carrying lepers was purposely lured onto the rocky coastline and sunk, drowning all aboard. Now they're back, long dead mariners who've waited a century for their revenge. Seeking out the descendants of those responsible for their deaths, they lurk enshrouded within a supernatural fog of terror. Beware any and all who stand in their way. So yeah, I mean, it's a good premise because the original was very good. Just the acting and the way this was told was not good at all, especially the acting. This is like a TV movie, if not worse. I don't know. And they changed a few things from the original that didn't make it any better either. So I'm giving this one an F. I hated it. Next up, I watched the first Leprechaun. So this is a horrific leprechaun goes on a rampage after his precious bag of gold coins is stolen. He uses all of his magical powers to trick, terrorize, and kill anyone who is unlucky enough to hinder his relentless search. In a frantic attempt to survive the wrath of the leprechaun, Tori, played by Jennifer Aniston, must scramble to find the only weapon known to kill this monster. Yeah. It is just okay, not very good. I don't know if the other ones are more enjoyable or not. I'm going to give it a C, though. Next up is one I don't know if I watched when I was younger or if this was a first-time watch. I don't remember it if I did watch it when I was younger, but we got Ernest Scared Stupid. So when Ernest looks to help some children with their Halloween haunted house, he ends up accidentally unleashing an evil troll that intends to bring about the end of the world. While having to deal with his useful friends being transformed into wooden dolls by the troll, our hero Ernest looks to find a way to stop it and return his friends to normal. This will be one Halloween that Ernest and his pals will never forget. Really enjoyed this one. Ernest cracks me up. And it's actually a very enjoyable film. I'm going to give it a B+. Probably try to watch this every Halloween time. The troll is actually, for a kid's movie, is kind of terrifying compared to what it could have been, I guess. And it's just a fun movie. Next up, we watched Frankenweenie. This is about a kid who's kind of a loner, but he's very smart, and his best friend's his dog, and his dog passes away, and he's in a science experiment, or he has a science experiment, and he tries to bring it back to life. So Tim Burton film, very enjoyable. I'd never seen this, and I liked it, so I'm going to give it a B. Next up, I watched Friday the 13th Part 2. Just when you thought it was safe to go back to camp, here's even more heart-pounding terror. 5 years after the horrible bloodbath at Camp Crystal Lake, all that remains is the legend of Jason Voorhees and his demented mother, who had murdered 7 camp counselors. At a nearby summer camp, the new counselors are unconcerned about the warnings to stay away from the infamous site. Unwitting and unaware, they roam the area, not sensing the ominous, lurking presence. One by one, they find that the grisly legend is real. Suspense and screams abound in this terrifying follow-up to the original smash hit. I kind of liked it better than the first one, if I remember right, or maybe not. I don't know. Kind of on par. I'm going to give it a C+. Next up was one I've been wanting to watch for a while and just never found the right time to do it. We watched The Exorcist. Brace yourself, as one of the all-time spellbinders possesses you all over again. Director William Friedkin and producer-screenwriter William Peter Blatty, probably butchered that, have revisited The Exorcist to integrate 11 minutes of scenes. Oh, you don't need to know that. Now seen are moments deepening the impact of the performances by... Didn't really talk about it. Well, anyways, it follows an actress and her daughter. Her daughter starts acting strange and doing weird things, and she's possessed. They try all sorts of things and nothing seems to work. So Exorcist goes to try and remove the being or whatever from her body. Very good acting, very good movie. I thought it was going to be a little more scary. I don't know why exactly, but yeah, this is a good one. I'm going to give it a. Next up, we watched the Criterion Collection version of The Devil's Backbone. This is a Guillermo del Toro film. It is in Spanish, so there is subtitles. It doesn't bother me, but you definitely have to pay attention for this one. It follows a group of kids or orphans during the Spanish Civil War, and they're kind of like in not a prison, but it's like a, does it say what it is? I guess just an orphanage. Yeah, it says in a haunted rural orphanage full of terrible secrets. The villain's very good in this. One of the better villains that we've probably seen in any of the movies during October. And it's a ghost story, murder mystery type of thing. Very, very enjoyable film. Good film. I'm going to give that one an A as well. Next up was another one I was really wanting to watch this year. We got Poltergeist, a Steven Spielberg production directed by Tobe Hooper. They're here and they seem almost whimsical at first, playing stack the chair games in the kitchen of the Freeling suburban home. Then things turn darker. A storm erupts, a tree attacks. Little Carol Ann Freeling is whisked into a spectral void, and as her family confronts a chain reaction of horrors and frights to bring the youngster back. Something else is here too, a benchmark in Hollywood ghost stories. So yeah, this was based kind of on the two things that scared Steven Spielberg the most, I guess, growing up. So it was kind of spooky, enjoyable too. I'm going to give it a B. Good acting. You feel for the characters. It's kind of a different movie compared to some of the other scary movies. We also watched Hubie Halloween on Netflix, which follows Adam Sandler, Hubie, his character. He's a middle-aged man who loves Halloween. His goal in life basically is make sure everyone has a safe and happy Halloween. He works at a market or something like that. He's just a really nice guy, but also kind of a weirdo to other people. But some people really like him. So things happen this Halloween, and he tries to prevent things from happening. There's great cameos. I'm a big Adam Sandler fan, so in my biased opinion, I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I'm going to give it a C. Others might have hated it, I don't know, but I enjoyed that one. Also on Netflix, we watched the third season of Stranger Things, which picks up after season 2 and follows all the same characters. I don't really want to go into depth too much, but love the show. All the seasons are great, so I'm going to give it a cumulative whole of an A+ for the whole show. Big fan. I also watched What We Do in the Shadows. The movie, there's also a TV show. It follows a group of vampire friends who live in the same place. They're different ages and have different quirks about them. It's a comedy, very funny, and it just kind of follows these group of vampires in their life and things that affect them, and it just plays a funny role on what it would be like to be a vampire. I don't know. It's very funny, though. I'm going to give it a B. Next up, I watched It. I was very excited about checking this one out. I had never seen it. This is the mini-series version. I haven't yet watched the newer versions. I do have the first part So I look forward to watching that. So this follows a group of kids. It's based on Stephen King's 1986 bestseller. A violent force in a small New England town takes the shape of a clown, but he's not clowning around. Instead, he terrifies youngsters and brings them to their ultimate untimely doom, until some wily kids fight back. The evil resurfaces 30 years later, so there's two parts to it, and it kind of jumps back and forth in between when they're old and when they're young. And the friends who had fought back when they were young have to fight back again when they're old, and friends who vividly remember youthful terrors reunite to battle it. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Thought the acting was fantastic. Not as scary as I thought it was going to be. I don't know. Clowns, I don't know. I thought it was going to be a little scarier. I don't know. But I definitely enjoyed it. I'm going to give it an A as well. Next up, we watched Friday the 13th Part 3, 3D. Tried to watch it on 3D. I have a 3D TV as well as a 3D Blu-ray player, and we had the glasses, but the glasses were never used. I opened them to watch this, and they already had the batteries inside, so I don't know if the batteries died because it had been a couple years or what, but we couldn't get it to work. I also couldn't find the remote to the 3D Blu-ray player, which might pose a problem. So anyways, we watched this on 2D, and this was not as good as the first two for sure. Spoiler, I have watched the fourth one, and it's might be my favorite so far in the series. I've watched the first 5 now. This one's kind of, since they were doing the 3D thing, it's just kind of over the top and cheesy. So it's another where, this was the first one with the hockey mask too, so that's kind of cool. But another summer turns into a nightmare of unspeakable terror for yet another group of naive counselors, ignoring Camp Crystal Lake's bloody legacy. One by one, they fall victim to the maniac Jason, who stalks them at every turn. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a C. Next up, we watched That Thing from Another World. This is the original that inspired the John Carpenter's The Thing. This is a Howard Hawks production. Arctic researchers discover a huge frozen spaceling inside a crash landing UFO, then fight for their lives after the murderous being emerges from icy captivity. While other creatures soon follow, the famed final words of this film are both warning and an answer. Keep watching the skies. So yeah, this was enjoyable. I was expecting it to be a little better. I don't know why. The John Carpenter's thing is definitely inspired by this, but they're definitely their own movies. I'm going to give it a B though. I'll probably end up upgrading to the Warner Archive Blu-ray version, but this is a good movie. We also watched Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, which was hilarious. I'm going to give that one an A-. It's kind of like a takedown. It's kind of a comedy spoof version of scary movies, kind of like that Geico commercial where they're like, well, or somebody says, let's go to the running car, and they're like, no, let's go hide by the chainsaws, type of thing. Very funny film. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm giving it an A-. Then I watched Friday the 13th the final chapter. This is the 4th installment. Like I already said, I enjoyed it better than the other one. I'm going to give it a C+. Crystal Lake's least popular citizen returns to wreak further havoc in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. After his revival in a hospital morgue, the hockey mask murderer fixes his vengeful attention on the Jarvis family and a group of carefree teenagers. Young Tommy Jarvis is an aficionado of horror films with a special talent for masks and makeup. And that's played by, drawing a blank for some reason, Corey Feldman, and he's good in it. He's very young in it. But enjoyable film, giving it a C+. We also watched Scream on VHS. The very first scary movie I ever watched. Really enjoyed this one. I'm gonna give it an A+. I think it's about as perfect as a scary movie can be. It's kind of reinvented the slasher genre and also kind of poked fun, or was a different way to look at horror movies and a way to tell them. So follows a group of teenagers, or high schoolers, I guess they would still be teenagers. After a series of mysterious deaths, a seemingly peaceful community becomes a place where no one is safe and everyone is suspect. That's when an offbeat group of friends rally to unlock the town's deadly secrets and get caught up in a lively mix of thrills, chills, and surprises, featuring an all-star talent including Drew Barrymore, Neve Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, and David Arquette. This strikingly original and entertaining motion picture delivers non-stop, edge-of-your-seat excitement and fun. And the rewatchability on this one is very high. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite scary movies. It would definitely be in my top 5. So yeah, great film. That's everything I watched for the month of October, or the second part of October. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I definitely, like I've said before, it's not my favorite genre, but this month, that October, I had a blast watching all these films, checking out a lot of new ones that I'd never seen. I look forward to hopefully doing the same thing next year. Probably won't be able to do it on the scale that I was this year, which I think I was very close to watching 40 scary / Halloween type films during the month of October, and had an absolute blast with it. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical Media will never die. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Yeah!